A question I get asked often is, how do I detect industries that are breaking out together? Within Swing the Strat, you have a ton of tools to be able to detect that. So the first one is when you go into the sector and theme section, we have the option to detect industry breaks. So there's two levers that you could use. One is cluster sensitivity, or essentially it's cluster density. It tells you how many stocks are moving in unison. And the second lever you have is the minimum number of stocks that should exist in that particular industry grouping. A good place to start is to set it at 5, and you can also break it down into bullish, bearish, or compressed. So if you want to find stocks that are breaking out, you go into bullish. You could start with reducing by increasing the cluster sensitivity to the max. So clearly there's a lot of buying that's happening in the travel services industry. So that's the first way. What you can then do is you can slowly start reducing the cluster sensitivity. So you can start seeing other tickers in the group. So you can see the retail REITs are also in. And then if you increase it further, you can see 93% of the medical diagnosis stocks are also moving together, which is super interesting. So that's how you can quickly identify industries that are setting up together. This is stack ranked based on relative strength, but you could also do this based on buyer and seller aggression, which is one of the core concepts and capabilities within the strat. Another question I get asked often is why a particular ticker is in a particular industry. So there's a regulatory body called GICS, the Global Industry Classification Standard, and in their wisdom, they decide to put tickers into particular industries. While this generally works well broadly, there are instances where we are going to need certain specific tickers within specific themes. So within Swing the Strat, we also have our own custom themes. And as you can see here, so yesterday, there seems to be a cluster within the gig economy, for instance. You can see the themes and the sub-themes that are broken down here within Swing the Strat. Hope you found this useful. See you in the next video.